The price of freedom is often more than many expect. Being a Sigma female is more than just independence or solitude. It embodies a complete lifestyle, a particular way of thinking, and a unique manner of living in a world that often misunderstands you. It's about rejecting the notion of fitting into predefined roles and creating your own unique journey. Yet, there's an aspect seldom discussed. You may often feel misinterpreted, viewed as unapproachable or detached, simply because you prefer to be distinct from the masses. You do not conform, and this can lead to feelings of isolation. Others might think you are okay with being alone, but in reality, it can be tiring to constantly fight off clichés, silently bear burdens, and feel like your true self is never fully recognized. Being a Sigma female involves its own unique challenges, and you might sometimes wonder if the struggle is worth it. But remember this, you are not flawed. The world may not grasp your strength, but that's fine. Embrace who you are. You are exactly as you should be, and your self-reliance is your most powerful asset. In this video, we explore the lesser-known difficulties of being a Sigma and why, despite the hardships, it represents one of the most liberating paths you could choose. Stick with us. You might start to view yourself in a new light. Freedom isn't free. It carries a cost that many overlook. Number 1. They often feel like they don't quite fit in. Even in a crowd where everyone seems to understand each other, a Sigma can still feel as if they are on the outside looking in. This isn't about being too proud or too timid. It's about how deeply they think. Their thoughts are original, exploring angles most people wouldn't even consider. This can make even simple interactions feel shallow or strained. It's not that they don't like people or struggle to make friends. Actually, they long for truly meaningful connections. But in a society where light chatter is common and deep discussions are rare, feeling disconnected is almost inevitable. While most people find common ground in the latest trends or casual chat, a Sigma's thoughts are far deeper, questioning the reasons behind things and exploring deeper meanings. This feeling of being an outsider isn't limited to being with strangers. It can happen even with close friends or family. Sigmas often keep their thoughts to themselves, not because they're embarrassed, but because they suspect their ideas might be too complex or ignored. This constant sense of not fully fitting in makes them self-reliant, often feeling both present and yet not fully part of the group. However, here's the twist. This sense of separation, although lonely, is also a source of strength. Being on the fringe gives them a unique perspective that most lack. They notice patterns and details that others overlook and aren't swayed by popular opinion. If you're a Sigma, remember this. Your unique view might set you apart, but it's also what gives you your power. You don't merge into the crowd because you weren't meant to. That sensation of being a lone wolf isn't a weakness. It's a sign that you're traveling a path few can follow. Embrace it. The world needs people like you who see things differently. Number 2, Sigmas often have a hard time finding mentors. For many, having a mentor is crucial. It's like having someone to lean on who has already navigated similar challenges and can show you the way. However, for Sigmas, locating a mentor can seem as tough as finding water in a desert. This isn't because they don't want to learn or are too proud to seek advice. Rather, their unique way of thinking and living means that traditional mentors often aren't a good match. Sigmas value their independence. They prefer to chart their own course rather than following established paths. This tendency to go their own way usually doesn't align well with the structured guidance that mentors are known to provide. When they are offered typical advice or step-by-step directions, it feels confining, like forcing a square peg into a round hole. They aren't being rebellious, They simply must discover things their way. Consequently, they are left with two choices: trust their own gut or learn by watching and doing, even if it means making mistakes. This approach fosters toughness and inventiveness, but it can be a tiring journey. Sigmas might feel as though they are constantly starting from scratch, facing problems that could have been simpler with the right support. Nevertheless, they prefer to face these challenges on their own terms, rather than follow tips that don't feel right. However, there's a positive aspect to this struggle. By learning to depend on themselves, Sigmas gain deep understanding and creativity that is rare. They not only learn how to succeed, but also how to excel in a manner true to themselves. If you're a Sigma, keep this in mind. Your journey might be tougher, but it's also more fulfilling. You aren't just creating a life, you're crafting a legacy that is uniquely yours. Keep pushing forward. Every step you take is molding you into a leader worth following. Number 3, achieving success can attract the wrong kind of attention. For Sigmas, success is a double-edged sword. While it's a mark of their accomplishments, it also acts like a beacon, drawing in people with less than honorable intentions. Sigmas prefer to keep a low profile, letting their actions speak for them. However, this quiet way of living often makes them even more intriguing. Their ability to succeed quietly makes others more curious, sometimes too curious. This type of success attracts people who don't see it as inspiring, but as something they can use for their own benefit. Unfortunately, these people often hide their true motives, appearing friendly or loyal, while secretly looking for what they can take. For Sigmas, this means they must always be cautious. They constantly have to play a mental game, figuring out people's true intentions and deciding who is genuine and who is just after their gains. This can be tiring, but is essential to protect themselves. Trusting the wrong person can be costly in terms of time, energy, and peace of mind. What makes this even more challenging is that Sigmas highly value being genuine. They seek true connections, but the more they succeed, the harder it becomes to trust anyone. Every new relationship comes with doubts. Are they here for me or for what I have? Over time, however, this caution helps Sigmas hone their instincts. They get better at spotting warning signs and avoid potential harm by setting clear boundaries and maintaining relationships only with those who have proven trustworthy. If you're a Sigma, keep in mind, your success is solely yours, and you don't have to share it with anyone. Use your boundaries as protection. While success might bring along those looking to take advantage, it also gives you the power to decide who can be close to you. Number 4. The cost of freedom is always being on the lookout. For a Sigma, freedom is everything. It's not just how they prefer to live, it's vital to them. They avoid following society's norms, don't report to anyone, and refuse to be limited by others' expectations. However, this independence and cherished freedom have a cost: constant vigilance. A Sigma must always be careful. They've realized through tough experiences that not all people have good intentions. They've been taken advantage of by users, opportunists, and those who view their independence as a vulnerability to be exploited. As a result, they're always wary, always analyzing the intentions behind someone's actions, words, and even the smallest gestures. This continuous watchfulness is their way to stay safe, but it can be tiring. While others might lower their guard in social situations or feel comfortable, a Sigma stays alert. They find it hard to trust, and they really can't afford to. Each interaction is a careful exchange, and each relationship is potentially full of deceit. This never-ending vigilance stops them from truly relaxing or being carefree. There's no break for a Sigma. Living this way is risky. Over time, being constantly alert wears them down. What should be freedom turns into a constant strategic game, where every decision is planned and every possible result is thought of ahead. It's draining, both mentally and emotionally, and if they're not cautious, even the most independent person can become overwhelmed. If you're a Sigma, remember, your alertness is a strength, but it also comes with challenges. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your peace to maintain your freedom. Make sure to rest, to let go, and to trust, even if it's just briefly. True freedom isn't just about avoiding dangers, but also about knowing when to take a break and breathe. Number 5. Quiet sacrifices that often go unnoticed. For a Sigma, the cost of being independent is usually borne in silence. They don't make a big deal about their sacrifices, and they really don't expect others to notice them. While many people are busy building social connections, relationships, and chasing opportunities, Sigmas often willingly let these chances pass by. They prefer solitude and calm over the hustle and bustle of everyday life, but this choice has its own hidden price, one that hardly anyone else sees. Sigmas are very good at staying independent, and they protect this fiercely. However, in doing so, they usually miss out on the deep connections that most people desire. They avoid making friends, getting involved in romantic relationships, or being part of social groups because these can feel overwhelming. To others, it might seem like small choices, missing a social event or opting for a peaceful night alone. But for a Sigma, these decisions carry great meaning. They are part of a larger, unspoken compromise. Each step they take away from society helps them keep their peace of mind and their individuality. But this is something that goes unnoticed. No one sees those quiet evenings spent alone with their thoughts, or the potential relationships that don't develop because they don't let them. The truth is, these quiet sacrifices are what Sigmas really pay to live the way they have chosen. They choose peace over deep connections. They forego chances for the sake of their independence, and by doing this, they create a life that, although free and true to themselves, can sometimes be lonely. If you identify as a Sigma, remember this: your sacrifices are recognized, even if they're never acknowledged. You prioritize your peace above all, and that's a significant choice. However, it's also okay to let others in sometimes. True freedom isn't about being completely alone. It's about knowing when to share your burdens. Number 6. The ongoing struggle with trust. Many people assume trust is straightforward. It's either built gradually or given without hesitation. However, for a Sigma, trust is not only challenging to develop, it's a relentless and tiring challenge. The thought of opening up and sharing their personal space feels dangerously risky. This caution comes from past experiences, from understanding how quickly trust can be shattered and how others may not be as they seem. For a Sigma, forming relationships is like solving complex puzzles. Each new person in their life seems like a problem to figure out, with trust being the trickiest part to handle. Who can be counted on? Who is sincere? Who might be trying to deceive or exploit them? These questions constantly circulate in their minds, turning each interaction into a scrutiny. Adopting a trust nobody attitude acts as a defense, safeguarding their inner peace, yet it's also emotionally draining. The need to assess everyone's words, actions, and intentions can be overwhelming. While many can effortlessly enjoy their relationships, a Sigma always remains cautious. They are aware that trusting someone means making themselves vulnerable, and in their view, vulnerability is an opening for disloyalty. This ongoing alertness acts as a barrier, keeping them from the connections they may deeply desire. However, the cost of being so wary is a deep sense of weariness. The burden of continually doubting others' motives depletes their strength, making it hard to decide who to welcome into their lives, even when they wish to. If you identify as a Sigma, remember this: trust is more than a mere concept. It's a precious offering. Though difficult to extend, it's vital for forging those special, authentic bonds that make life truly fulfilling. The key is figuring out when it's okay to let your guard down and take a chance, because the real joy of life comes not from being alone, but from the trust that sometimes people are worthy of it. Number 7. They don't seek help, but truly need it. At first, it might look like a Sigma handles everything perfectly alone. They appear capable of dealing with big problems by themselves. However, what most people don't realize is the silent struggle they face internally. Sigmas avoid asking for help, not because they don't need it, but because they fear the potential cost. Seeking help feels like giving up control, something they've defended fiercely. For a Sigma, being independent is more than a preference. It's a deep-seated part of who they are. They've designed their lives around being self-reliant, setting up systems where they make all the decisions and bear the consequences alone. To ask for help is to depend on someone else, which means losing some freedom. This seems like risking their guard, and that's something they're not comfortable with. Yet, here's the contradiction. While they resist help, they do need it. No matter how self-sufficient they seem, a Sigma can't manage everything solo. The basic human need for support, teamwork, and interaction exists. It's just hidden under layers of fear and pride. They long for connection, but only on their terms, not if it means losing control. This internal battle keeps the Sigma always tense. They crave the peace that comes with sharing their troubles with others, but the fear of losing trust, control, and exposing their vulnerabilities keeps them distant. For Sigmas, the real challenge is to navigate this contradiction, recognizing that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It doesn't mean they've lost control. It just shows they're human, and eventually, even the most independent person must admit they can't handle everything by themselves. Number 8. They naturally attract conflict. A Sigma's mere presence makes a statement, even without speaking. Their need for independence, their self-assurance, and their refusal to just follow the crowd distinctively set them apart. While some people respect these qualities, others may feel threatened. Sigmas aren't looking for trouble, yet somehow they seem to stir it up. This stems from their way of living. They don't seek others' approval, they avoid popular trends, and they don't abide by anyone's rules but their own. This type of freedom can unsettle others. It's common for people to wrongly see a Sigma's self-sufficiency as either arrogance or detachment. Such misinterpretations often breed jealousy or insecurity, leading to subtle or blatant challenges to their status. The paradox is that Sigmas are not in competition with anyone. They are merely concentrating on their own journey, ignoring the trivial competitions that others engage in. Yet, this very indifference often triggers power struggles. People may try to dominate them, show they're superior, or try to bring them down to boost their own ego. It seems that a Sigma's independence acts as a mirror reflecting other people's insecurities, and not everyone is comfortable facing that truth. Hence, conflict becomes a frequent theme in a Sigma's life. Whether it's a co-worker undermining them, a friend hiding envy with passive-aggressive remarks, or family members trying to dictate their choices, Sigmas often find themselves in situations of manipulation they never asked for. However, the silver lining is that Sigmas don't fold under pressure. Their knack for remaining composed and steering clear of needless drama often gives them an advantage. They don't engage in confrontations they didn't provoke. Instead, they focus on establishing clear boundaries, stepping back when needed, and letting their actions do the talking. If you're a Sigma, remember, your energy is not the issue. It's your strength. Facing intimidation is part of standing strong, and conflict often comes with the territory of being true to oneself. Stay firm. Those who test you simply show the strength they lack. Number 9. For Sigmas, emotional support often seems like a distant reality. It is something meant for others, but not for them. They have become experts at hiding their feelings, not because they don't experience deep emotions, but because they've learned that showing vulnerability can lead to misunderstandings or even manipulation by others. As they continue to display only strength, people start believing that they don't need any help. This creates a tricky situation. On one side, their self-reliance gains them respect. Others admire their ability to remain poised and composed during challenging times. However, this also leads to isolation. People rely on Sigmas in difficult moments, but rarely check on them to see how they are coping. It seems their apparent strength renders their own struggles invisible. Moreover, when Sigmas do attempt to share their feelings, it usually doesn't go well. Since everyone is so accustomed to seeing them as steadfast, they either overlook their concerns or respond with generic comfort that fails to meet the real depth of the Sigma's troubles. Over time, Sigmas learn to just bear their hardships quietly, maintaining their role as a support for others, while no one notices the battles they face alone. The outcome? Their resilience turns into their solitude. While they take pride in managing life independently, it comes at a price. The painful realization that their internal fights remain unseen. If you are a Sigma, remember this: it's all right to seek help. Being independent doesn't mean you must face everything by yourself. If the world isn't giving you the support you need, start by supporting yourself. Create a space where you can safely express your feelings, even if it's just with yourself. True strength isn't about never relying on others. It's about knowing when you can depend on yourself and when it's okay to reach out for help. Number 10. They dread losing their uniqueness. For a Sigma, being independent and smart is not just part of their character, it's their whole essence. It's not sufficient for them to just be skilled or independent. They need to maintain that status. The idea of deteriorating, getting too comfortable, or even worse, depending on someone else, is their biggest fear. This isn't about being proud, it's about surviving. For a Sigma, losing their sharpness is like losing their identity. This fear motivates them to continuously strive. They are always picking up new skills, adapting and enhancing themselves, even when it seems unnecessary. To others, it may seem like they are overanalyzing things or exerting themselves too much, but for a Sigma, it's about staying ahead of problems, of expectations, and even of themselves. The thought of just getting by, of being someone who just drifts through life, is overwhelming. However, this constant chase for keenness comes with a price. Sigmas find it hard to relax, as if taking a break is a luxury they cannot allow themselves. They feel a hidden burden to demonstrate, not to others, but to themselves, that they are still competent, still sharp, still themselves. And while this drive leads them to accomplish remarkable things, it is also tiring. The endless push to stay in front keeps them from relaxing or showing their softer side. What makes this even more complicated is that Sigmas seldom share this fear. They keep it buried, showing an image of easy efficiency. Nobody sees the silent moments of uncertainty, the inner struggles where they wonder if they are doing enough, if they are remaining true to their identity, or if they are losing their grip. If you are a Sigma, remember this: your edge won't disappear suddenly. It's ingrained in you, built stronger with every obstacle you've tackled and conquered, but constantly sharpening the blade can wear it out. Give yourself time to rest, because even the sharpest tools need a break. Your independence and intelligence are not temporary. They are your core. Have faith in them and in yourself. Number 11. Living a life away from what others think you should be. Sigmas take pride in staying clear of typical social rules. They choose to walk their own paths instead of following routes others have set for them. However, even the most independent people can't fully shake off the influence of societal expectations. It's not that Sigmas want to fit in. They really don't care about that. Yet, the pressure is always there, subtly reminding them about the right way to live, the proper measures of success, and the ideal path they're supposed to follow. No matter how much they try to escape, these expectations manage to affect their minds. Society has its own definition of success: impressive careers, lots of money, perfect relationships. But Sigmas understand these aren't what truly define them. Still, the gentle push to fit in doesn't go away. It's like a shadow they can't shake off, a quiet force pulling at them even as they resist it. They constantly struggle between being true to themselves and feeling like they're falling short because they don't meet usual standards of success. They fight against being shaped into someone else's idea of perfect. But the burden of societal norms still hangs over them, potentially affecting who they are. Moreover, although Sigmas value being real, they acknowledge they can't completely ignore the world's scrutiny. No matter how much they try to separate themselves, they are still under observation. The outcome? They maintain a fragile balance, always hovering between their need to remain genuine and the silent, unspoken push to adapt to a world that doesn't quite fit them. If you're a Sigma, remember this: you don't need to bear the burden of society's expectations. It's fine to live differently and set your own success standards. However, recognize that feeling this push and pull is part of your experience, and dealing with it will make you stronger. Be true to yourself, but don't let the pressure of outside expectations silence your own voice. Number 12. The challenge of balancing ambition with self-care. For a Sigma, ambition is like a second skin. They wear it with pride and determination. They are always pushing themselves to achieve more, driven by an inner fire that never seems to dim. But this relentless pursuit of goals can come at a high cost. Sigmas often forget that they are human too, and that rest is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. They might skip meals, lose sleep, and neglect their health, all in the name of chasing success. The trouble is, while they're busy making plans and crossing off to-do lists, they might miss out on the joys of the present moment. It's important for a Sigma to remember that taking a break isn't a sign of weakness, but a wise decision to recharge. By finding a balance between their goals and their well-being, they can enjoy their achievements without burning out. This balance isn't just good for them, it enhances their ability to succeed sustainably. Number 13. Navigating the loneliness of leadership. Being a Sigma often means standing in a leadership role, whether formally or as a natural influence. With leadership, however, comes a unique kind of loneliness. As a leader, a Sigma might find themselves making tough decisions alone, bearing responsibilities that others don't see, and often feeling isolated at the top. While they may be respected and admired from afar, close, personal connections can be rare. People might hesitate to approach them, intimidated by their independence and strength. This can leave a Sigma feeling disconnected, even among a crowd. The key for a Sigma is to cultivate a few deep, meaningful relationships where they can be vulnerable and share their true selves. These connections can become their anchor, reminding them that they are not alone in their journey, even when they're leading the way. By opening up to trusted individuals, they can share the weight of leadership and find comfort in companionship. By integrating these aspects into their understanding, Sigmas can navigate their unique paths with greater awareness and fulfillment, embracing both the strengths and challenges of their personalities. The hidden challenges of being a Sigma that few discuss. Being a Sigma female is not easy. It means living life by your own rules, enjoying a lot of freedom, but it also comes with challenges. Often, people don't truly understand you. They might see your independence and think you're distant, interpret your quietness as coldness, and view your strength as loneliness. They don't notice the inner struggles, the constant pull between wanting to connect with others and needing your own space, the battle between wanting to trust and the fear of getting hurt, and the tension between achieving success and feeling overlooked. But here's the key point. Your struggles don't make you flawed. Facing the difficulties of being misunderstood and always feeling different doesn't make you weak. It shows that you are unique, and this uniqueness is your strength. Being a Sigma means you think more deeply, move uniquely, and follow your own set of rules. Even though it might seem like the world wants you to fit in, the strength you gain from not fitting the standard mold is exactly what enables you to forge your own way. You will face many challenges quietly, but you are equipped for this. You possess the endurance, the subtle strength, and the keen intellect to deal with being misunderstood. You might not always receive the recognition you deserve, but the reality is you're building something even more significant, your true self. If you're a Sigma female, cherish that. Realize that your path, though tough at times, is about mastering yourself. You're not alone in these challenges. Every difficult step you take is a move toward discovering the amazing person you already are. Continue on your path with boldness, because in a world full of noise and expectations, your quiet strength will always be noticeable. Thanks for watching till the end. I'll see you in the next one. Until next time.